Shalom from Jerusalem. This is Uriel, Independent News, Yerushalayim, Israel. This morning we're at Ben Yehuda. I'm basically asking questions on the so-called Palestinian issue here in Israel. Sir, what do you think about the so-called Palestinians here in the land allotted to us Jews?
I think that this issue is a false issue. It's an issue that was foisted upon by interests abroad, and unfortunately some confused Jews here also collaborated with creating this notion of a distinct Arab so-called Palestinian entity.
Now let me get to the root of and to the point. We're dealing with a so-called Palestinian leader named Mahmoud Abbas, and he continues to support terror against the nation of Israel. Do you think that the Israeli government should be dealing with such a person as Mahmoud Abbas, who basically supports terror against Jews?
I think it's unconscionable for any government to deal with an individual and an entity that wishes only its end and its destruction. It's unfortunately hard to understand, but most of our leadership is compromised in some way. My belief is that when they come to power, they are either blackmailed or they're bought, or a combination thereof.
Now, as America classifies certain groups of terror as terror organization, should the United Nations, or maybe America for that matter, classify the so-called PA as a terror organization who basically continues to terrorize Israel?
They are, without a doubt, a terror entity that stays in power by terrorizing their own Arabs and also by threatening Israel constantly with harming its people.
Right there in Hebron, I've been there many times. Hamas has already infiltrated Hebron, and basically what I see as an outsider coming in is that sooner or later they will take over the entire Hebron area, and who knows, maybe the entire West Bank. And if they do, I believe that Israel is going to be under a lot of problems, because these people have a way of getting the weapons and use them against Israel.
Well, unfortunately, I don't see a tremendous difference between Fatah, which is the PA entity, and Hamas. I believe that both of them are a danger, and I think that unfortunately the governments that we've had have already given them too much power, and we will face more and more danger from these entities.
Now, one final question. What do you think about Yehuda and Shomron, Judea and Samaria, who possibly might be on the negotiation table due to the pressure from the Quartet, the European Union, and the UN? Of course, America is always behind the scenes. But what do you think? Do you think that Israel will give in to Judea and Samaria as a Palestinian so-called state?
I think that if, God forbid, that happens, the mere survival of Israel is at stake. I certainly cannot see Jerusalem being redivided, and I certainly cannot see many areas given away to these criminals merely because we've already had the great experience of giving away Gaza and the communities in the northern Shomron, and all we've got in return is missiles and more terror.
14,000 rockets have been fired from the Gaza Strip into Israel territory. So if we don't learn by that, and we are going to give these so-called terrorists more land, then we are going to be in more jeopardy than ever.
I agree.
This is Uriel, Independent News, Jerusalem, Israel. Shalom.